Okay, speaking of wild card, we've got a driver that's in the running for that, or could be in the running for that for sure, and that's Regan Smith. He drives the number 78 Furniture Row Racing Chevrolet. He won at Darlington, if you remember. 27th in points. He's got a little bit of ground to make up, but he's got a few races left to do that in. So, Regan, talk about your mindset coming here to Michigan, knowing you got to get inside that top 20.
Yeah, well, I think, the obvious thing is that we've got to get into the top 20. We've been chipping away at it a little bit here as of lately, but certainly, we need to get our consistency a little bit better as a team. I think that, points in every race we've been running good enough to have chipped a lot more away at it, but maybe had a problem here, issue there. So, we gotta work hard to get it in the top 20. This week is a good week for us. This is a good track for us, and next week is going to be kind of for us as a team a wild card. Sonoma, we need to go into that one counting on possibly not gaining as many points as we might be able to at other places, just because my road racing at that place isn't as good. But it's certainly reachable for us to get to the top 20, and then we'll have to see where the wins shake up, and hopefully we've gotten another one by then. And I think if we do that, it certainly helps make you feel a little more comfortable.
Questions for Regan? If you have one, raise your hand. We'll take them. Jeff Gluck's got one right here.
Jeff Gluck from SBNation.com. Regan, I'm wondering how the win and the wild card chase has changed, your team's growth and development. I don't know if you guys were, say, on a track before and where you could slowly get better and build somewhat under the radar. Now, because the win, you're almost thrust into this mode where you're having to maybe reach for something that hasn't been there week to week consistently. Do you think that's affected the development of your team at all?
Well, I don't think it's negatively affected the development at all. I think, if anything, it's showing us as a team what we're capable of and what we can do when we do things right all weekend long. It's showing me as a driver what I'm capable of when I don't make any mistakes and don't do anything stupid on the track. And the main thing for us is we've got to put that together every weekend. We've shown that we have speed pretty much everywhere we've gone this year at one point or another throughout the course of the weekend. And I think, from a development standpoint, the one area that we've had to work on has been translating qualifying speed into race speed, in particular at the beginning of races. We don't seem to fire off like we want to at the beginning of these races. And short of, 3 or 4 races where we raced forward instead of losing a couple spots at the start, that's kind of been our Achilles. By the end of the race, all of a sudden now we're as quick as anybody again, and we're real happy with our lap times and where the car's at. But we go through that lull early and in the middle of races. So from a development standpoint, I don't really think it's hurt us at all. I think, if anything, it's given us more confidence as a team and as an organization. And, certainly if there's more attention being paid to us, there's nothing wrong with that, I don't think.
Rusty, go ahead, and then we'll go to Dave Rodman.
Rusty Ball, NASCAR Media Group. Going back to your win at Darlington, one of NASCAR's most historical tracks or whatever. 2 weeks we'll go to Daytona. Can you just talk about what it would mean to be able to add a Daytona trophy to a Darlington trophy?
Well, yeah, Daytona's obviously a great place to win, and it'd be a huge deal to have both of those in the same year. For that matter, I'd be happy just covering all the parent holidays and winning this weekend on Father's Day weekend. So get Mother's Day and Father's Day, and then I don't have to spend any money on gifts or anything. But, Daytona's a special place. The Daytona Trophy I would rather have is the one that we get in the springtime there. Not to take away from the summertime one, but because they're both important. But obviously that's the big one down there. And I don't know if there's any racetrack on this circuit you don't want to win at, and that you can't make an argument for some reason that it's a special place to win. You can always find that story and find that reason why it's special. With the exceptions of 3 or 4 that are obviously the big 4 races essentially. And for me, the other one that's really important is Watkins Glen. And I just talked about how good I am at road courses, so that might be a little more of a stretch, but certainly that's one that I'll put extra emphasis on when we get to there also.
Go ahead, Dave Rodman.
Yeah, Regan, Dave Rodman with NASCAR.com. How big of a challenge is it to maintain your focus when you're running decent and the crazy stuff, some of the crazy stuff that happens to you happens? How difficult is it to maintain the focus on what you're trying to achieve?
Well, that's a good question because we've run into that a couple times this year where we're running good and we have a problem and I maybe don't do my job inside the car of keeping as calm as I need to and we've worked on that and I've gotten better at that. It seems like once or twice a year I always have those mental lapses where I just blow up and go off the deep end on the radio or something like that. I think it happens to every driver at some point or another, but it happened to me a few weeks ago and I guess the main thing you got to understand is there's certain things as a driver you can control. There's certain things that you can't control, and as long as you're doing everything in your power to control your stuff, that's where your focus needs to stay. And if other stuff happens around you, you got to try and block it out and keep your head in the game essentially.
Any other questions for Regan? Okay, man. Thanks for coming in, and good luck this weekend. Okay.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you, guys.